Shalom, shalom, shalom. Peace and blessings, peace and blessings. We about to get ready to go into the Sabbath. And so I got a message today, coming out of Proverbs. I think it's 3 and 5 or 4 and 3 or something like that. But it's quoted, lean not to your own understanding, but in all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your path. And so, I want to help people understand this, that when you understand that Torah is is the is the script, that Torah is the path, when you understand that Torah is the word and the word is Yahusha, then that's when your eyes will be open. You see, when you come to the realization that uh that Torah hasn't been done away with. That's just like saying that you know Yahusha never died. That's like saying Yahusha was never crucified. You see what I'm saying? So what you have to understand, when in that, within that scripture and within that wisdom of Solomon, within that wisdom of Solomon, that he was also, as his father, pointing back to Torah. So to lean not to your own understanding, but to acknowledge him in all your ways, and he shall direct your path. What even David said, that thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path, right? So you have to understand that the Torah is the light unto our feet and a lamp unto our path. You see what I'm saying? It is the pathway. It is the ancient path that we are to follow. You see what I'm saying? When you say you follow Jesus, when you say you follow Yahushua, you see what I'm saying? Then you are following Torah. If you're not keeping the laws, the statutes, and the commandments, then you're not following Jesus, or you're not following Yahusha HaMashiach. You're not following him. You know, and some people, they get grace mixed up with uh as grace is a that God's grace is a reason for them to trample over the word. Even uh uh Paul said, here, I'm gonna go and read it. Where was that at? Just give me a second real quick, and I'm gonna look it up, because Paul said it the best. um hey, shh, be quiet. uh Shh, be quiet. Where Paul says, shall we trample over the word? God forbid, in Romans. I don't really, hold on. We're going to go to Romans 6 and 2. So just be patient with me, because I don't ever really, I get a word in my spirit, and then I just, deliver. Hey, be quiet. So we're going to go to Romans 6. What was it? Romans 6 and 2 is what it said. 6 and 2. So the word says, what shall we say then? Shall we continue in sin that grace may abound? So grace is a teacher. You see what I'm saying? Grace gives you the aptitude to, make uh like let's say, what I'm saying, you got a problem with what people like to tend to call fornication, right? So, the Most High gives you grace until you come to a point of shame. You see what I'm saying? And once you come to a point of shame, then, it's just like the prodigal son. He took his inheritance and he ran off, and then, after he had squandered all of his money, he found himself eating in the trough, with the pigs. So he was at his lowest point. You see what I'm saying, in life. And sometimes it takes for us to come to the lowest point of our life in order to find Christ. You see what I'm saying? In order to find Hamashiach. You see what I'm saying? So this is Paul right here saying that, we shouldn't. Well, what shall we say then? Shall we continue in sin that grace may abound? So, we shouldn't continue in sin. If you want to know what sin is, then you need to go to 1 John 3 and 4. That's where you can find what sin is. The definition of sin is the transgression of the law. You see what I'm saying? In Greek terms, it's called the law, but in Hebrew, it's called Torah. You see what I'm saying? So it's the transgression of Torah. So he goes on to say, God forbid, how shall we that are dead to sin live any longer therein? So to be dead to sin means that you are keeping the laws, the statutes, and commandments, that you are abiding by those laws. Now, the only way that you can't keep those commandments is if you don't know, if you are ignorant. See, ignorance, that's why the Most High said, my people perish from the lack of knowledge, because the beginning of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding is Torah. You see what I'm saying? And when you understand that, then you understand that what sin is. So when you start to relearn Torah, relearn the laws, the statutes, and commandments, because the heathens basically trampled over the laws, the statutes, and the commandments. You see what I'm saying? They changed the laws. Matter of fact, let's go there. I'm gonna take you there. Let's go to Daniel. Daniel 7 and 25. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws. So he's gonna change the times, which our calendar basically went off the moon. You know what I mean? There were certain times we were supposed to keep certain feasts, during the new moon, and things of that nature. Those things are the things that you learn in Torah. You see what I'm saying? So he did away with the changing of times, because the different seasons, in the different seasons there's different feasts that we keep. Like there's the Passover, which is in the spring, which is what they call spring cleaning. You see what I'm saying? And then you got the unleavened bread, and then you got the Feast of Weeks, then you have the Feast of Trumpet, then the Feast of Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement, which is around September, which is around August, September. You see what I'm saying? Then you got Sukkot, which is around October. You see what I'm saying? So he came to change the times. You see what I'm saying? And the seasons. The times is the seasons, because the moon is a clock. You see what I'm saying? So it's like a clock. The moon is. So excuse me, because the moon has cycles. You see what I'm saying? And so you got the quarter moon, the full moon, then it goes back to a quarter moon. You know the cycles. You see what I'm saying? Where it looked like a fingernail. I can't think of all of them, but you get my drift. You get my point. You see what I'm saying? And so he changed the laws. You see what I'm saying? Instead of keeping the holy days, now we keep the holidays. You see what I'm saying? Instead of keeping the laws, which are your dietary laws, just the laws of cleanliness. Instead of keeping the laws, now what I'm saying, the laws have been perverted. You see what I'm saying? And they shall be given into the hand until a time, and the times, and the dividing of times. You see, so we in that time right now where the Torah has been given into the hands of the heathen, and they have changed the laws and changed the times in the laws. You see what I'm saying? And so you have to understand and do the history, because during this era, Daniel was prophesying about Constantine of Noble, which you have the Nicene Creed, and then you have the Creed, which is what Peter said when Yahusha asked him, well, who do you say I am? And he said that you are the Christ, or the Messiah. And he said that because you believe on this rock shall I believe build my church. You see what I'm saying? So it's important to understand that we lean not to our own understanding, but we acknowledge him in all our ways so that he can direct our path. The Torah is what directs our path. You know, the instructions, you know, that's just like, you know, if, you know, nowadays we use Google Maps. You see what I'm saying? And then you got the lady that'll point you to where you supposed to go. That's the same thing that Torah does. You see what I'm saying? Torah points you morally. You see what I'm saying? That's why we living in an era where there's no morals. You see what I'm saying? You got people, you know, love conquers a multitude of sin. You see what I'm saying? You know, you are, you know, I don't want no one to fear me. I want people to reverence me. You know, don't get me wrong. You know, the Most High is to be feared, but the type of fear that he's talking about is a reverent fear. That's why, you know, these pastors call themselves reverend. You know, but you know they're not to. Only God is to be reverend. You see what I'm saying? And that's what you got to understand about the church. The church is just an extension of the Roman Catholic Church, the Protestants, the Lutherans, you know, the Methodists, the Baptists, you know, Martin Luther, you know, I think Wisely and all of them. You see what I'm saying? They were the founders, you know, of these churches. You see what I'm saying? The Protestant Reformation. You know, that's why you have to go do your history, you know, because everything is not in the book. You see what I'm saying? You have to go study to show thyself approved, a workman rightly able to divide the word of truth. You see what I'm saying? So some knowledge is outside of the book. Some knowledge is in the history book that will line up with the Torah, you know, because the Torah is a history book too. And so they tried to erase our history, but it was found in the Dead Sea Scrolls. You see what I'm saying? The scriptures were found in the Dead Sea you know, because during that time, you know, you have to understand about the Roman occupation in Titus and how, you know, they had, you know, Yasharel or Jerusalem under siege. You see what I'm saying? In 7 AD, Titus and Vespucian. You see what I'm saying? And so, you know, when they ran, they took, that wasn't the first time. You know, every time they was conquered and they went into captivity, you know, they would lose the scripts and they would have to go find the scripts. When you go read in Kings about the kings, how Joash, you know, he came across the scripts and he started to renew the covenant again, because but you still had to pay for the sins for breaking the covenant. But you know, the Most High honored, you know, them, you know, reestablishing the covenant, and that's what we're doing now. You see what I'm saying? It's reestablishing the covenant. You know what I mean? You know, everything is done in part, you know, until Hamashiach comes back. You know, so when you quote scripture, you know, you got to keep it on the basis, on the surface level too. You know what I'm saying? Even though there's a deeper level and a different meaning spiritually, you know, you have to keep it on the surface level too. You see what I'm saying? Because it's not an illusion. You know what I'm saying? You know, when you're dealing with the Torah, you're dealing with facts. You know what I'm saying? If you say you have faith in Elohim and you believe, then you believe that he came down on Mount Sinai. Then you believe that he brought Yasharel out of Egypt. Then you believe that he brought Yasharel through the Red Sea. Then you believe that he drowned Pharaoh in the Red Sea. These are not just things that are in the book. These are things that happened. You see what I'm saying? So you have to keep everything on a literal plane. You see what I'm saying? You can't just say, oh, well, you know, make reference to them like those things didn't happen. They happened. You know, so I just wanted to make that point about, you know, when you're quoting scriptures, because the Old Testament is Yahusha concealed. The New Testament is Yahusha revealed. The New Testament is Yahusha coming in mercy, because Yahuwah in the Old Testament he wasn't as merciful as he was. Yasharel used to get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, they didn't get away with nothing. It was always someone that was an intercessor, that was a mediator between him and Elohim until he came in his human form, till he came to redeem, Yasharel, till he came to redeem the covenant. You see what I'm saying? To give us a chance to, redeem ourselves and get back in line to be submissive to the will of the Father. So you have to understand these things. So I just want to make that point, man. We about to go into the Sabbath, man. That is the mark. You know what I'm saying? The mark is in your forehead. The mark it's in your mind. You see what I'm saying? Because from your mind comes your actions. Your mind, your body is gonna follow your mind. That's why it says, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in the earth as it is in the heavens. Because this is the heavens. Your mind sits in the heavens. Your mind was shaping after the heavens. Your mind are your subconscious is where the spirit dwells. In your conscious, that's where your will and your emotions and all that is, which is replica of the makeshift temple. You see what I'm saying? And so you have to understand these things. You have to read and ask the Most High for understanding. You see what I'm saying? So that you can have a proper understanding and get in the word can be taught to you right. So, your mind, the will, because your body is only going to do what your mind tells it to do. You know what I'm saying? Your body doesn't tell your mind what to do. Your body will let you know when it's something wrong, and then, from your body, then, they travel up your nervous systems, which goes to your brain to basically give, the signals if there's a symptom or a diagnosis or something, just like a computer. You see what I'm saying? But, your mind is the heavens. Your body is the earth. You see what I'm saying? I'm telling you, man, like, everything is real. He created man from the earth. You know what I'm saying? Your body is what? 25% flesh, and what? The rest is what? Water. You know what I'm saying? When you look at a map, you know what I'm saying? You see the rivers, you see veins. You see what I'm saying? If you go look at the Fertile Crescent, it looked just like a womb. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, you know what I'm saying? You got to just learn to see God in everything. You know what I'm saying? And that's when you'll come to know him. Like, some people, they just want to stay blind. To be blind means they want to stay in error. They don't want to come into the knowledge of the truth. You see what I'm saying? They would rather stay ignorant. You know what I'm saying? My people perish for the lack of knowledge. Peace and blessings. Shalom.